Hi guys, it's Rex Poor here. Today we're going to go from Land's End heading towards Truro. Let's get in the air. So our route today will take us from Land's End, which we're leaving just now, over Camborne, Redruth and finally into Truro. And I've done the route so that we sort of go past the airport into Truro and then come back on ourselves to land in Truro. Camborne used to be the richest tin mining area in the world and actually had a school of mines where locals could be taught the latest methods of mining, which meant that it improved the safety and the output of the mines. Just coming out past Penzance again here. We talked about Penzance in the last episode. You can see how narrow this part of England is, where you can see the sea on both sides, whichever way I look. So Camborne is home to the Dolcoaf mine, apologies for my pronunciation, which means the old ground mine, and was called the Queen of Cornish Mines. And it was at a depth of 3,500 feet, which is 1,067 metres. And for many years was actually the deepest mine in the world. And in fact, one of the oldest. And that closed in 1912. 1921. The last working tin mine in Europe, called South Crofty, and that closed in 1998, is also found in Camborne. In 1801, on Christmas Eve, the Puffing Devil, which was a steam-powered road locomotive, made its way up Camborne Hill, which was the world's first self-propelled passenger-carrying vehicle, and that was built by Richard Trevithick, who was from Camborne. In 1801, a family business, Holman's, was founded in the town. Very quickly, it became Cornwall's largest manufacturer of industrial equipment, and they were leaders when it came to development of machinery for the mining industry. And they actually went on to make the Polsten gun and the Holman projector, which was an anti-aircraft weapon used by the Royal Navy. That was during the Second World War. So the next town we're going to talk about is Redruth, which derives from its older Cornish name Rydruth. Now, weirdly, red means red ford. The first syllable red actually means ford, and it's the Ruth which means red. So while it's called Redruth, it's actually the Ruth bit that means red, and that comes from the fact that it had a lot of copper ore rather than the tin, which was actually an offshoot of the tin mining industry. But as technology advanced and brass became an essential metal as part of the Industrial Revolution, copper ore became more important. And so Redruth quickly became one of the largest and richest mining areas in Britain. And obviously that meant that the town itself grew. There's a house in the Redruth, which is now called Murdoch House. It was built in the 1660s as a chapel and then became a prison, which are two complete opposite forms of use, in my opinion. And then a chap called William Murdoch lived there from 1782 to 1798. He worked on the local tin and copper mines, and he built engines on behalf of Bolton and Watt. He actually fitted the house out with gas lighting from coal gas, and this is actually the first house in the world with this type of lighting. I believe this is Redruth now that we're going over. However, I'm happy to be corrected in the comments. Some famous people from Redruth include Mick Fleetwood in 1947, who's the drummer and co-founder of the band Fleetwood Mac. And Christian Scott Thomas was born there in 1960. There was also a character named after the town of Redruth in Treasure Island called Thomas Redruth. So our final location on this flight is Truro, which we'll be going up to shortly, and it's the only city in Cornwall. It's famous for having ancient cobbled streets, Gothic and Georgian architecture, and it became a city in 1877, 3 years before the building of the cathedral. The cathedral itself is one of only 3 cathedrals in the UK to have 3 spires. So we're going to come in, we're going to fly past the airport, head over the city of Truro, and then we'll have to circle back and then line up for landing. Truro and 220 acres of land around it has actually been declared an area of outstanding natural beauty. Well worth a visit, even if a flying one. I'm just trying to find the airport off to the side, just so that I've got an idea when we come back round where I'm lining up to. So we're just heading over Truro now. I'll try and lose a bit of altitude. Wonder if we can see the cathedral. Just want to talk about a really interesting character connected to Truro. It's a chap called Owen Fitzpen, who was a philanthropist and merchant seaman. Now, we spoke about the Barbary pirates, I think, in the last episode, and he was actually taken captive by Turkish pirates on the 24th of March 1620 while he was in the Mediterranean. Now, it's likely that they were Barbary pirates because any historical account back then considered any Muslim in that area to be Turkish. So for 7 years, Owen and a number of other Christian captives actually served as slaves to the Turks near where is now Algiers. And then at one point, Owen and 10 other captives, who were Dutch and French, were herded aboard a corsair with 65 Turks to set sail for the next place they were due to be slaves. And him and the 10 other captives actually fought against the Turks for 3 hours. And suffered deaths of 5 of their number. However, the surviving Turks surrendered the ship, so Owen and his crew sailed the ship to Cartagena in Spain. Still trying to see the cathedral. And the news of this mutiny reached the king. He was summoned to Madrid and was actually offered a captain's position if he was willing to convert to Catholicism, but he declined. He sold the ships for £6,000 sterling and made his way back to England, and he settled with his brother here. And when he died at the age of 54, a local church, St Mary's, had a memorial put in. Famous resident or famous person born in Truro in 1949, Roger Taylor from Queen was born. And now we're coming into landing. As ever, I've got all the weather turned off, not just to make it easier for me, but also because I want to see everyone to see how beautiful this country is. Looks like we've got a good approach on this one. Make sure we miss these trees. I think that's one of my better landings. So thank you for joining me on this episode. Next time we'll be heading towards Bodmin. So we'll be heading further up through Cornwall. So thank you for flying Regs Up for Airways. Thank you. Please like and subscribe. Cheers.